In this section, I'm going to cover the most important concepts and principles that you need to know about in making background art for animation. These principles are really not often discussed as a cohesive framework. You hear about, one or two of these from time to time, or you might come across one here, another there. But I really think that it's crucial to see each of these principles as literally your framework for understanding how to create good background art. You can think of these in the exact same way that you might think about the 12 principles of animation if you're an animator. So I'm going to cover the 3 most important principles. Ideally, you should be able to apply each of these to one piece of work. So I want you to think of them as a whole kind of overarching complete set of guiding principles or guiding directives. The first and the most important principle that you need to be aware of when you're creating background art is the principle of staging. And alongside that, I'm also going to add the principle of framing. So I'm going to treat both of these as one kind of first principle, basically. Staging and framing is first on the list because your job as a background artist is to provide a scene or a setting for the characters. So it's not really, your job really isn't to make a nice illustration. An illustration is very different to background art for animation. Essentially, your job is to create a stage for the action to take place. So in that sense, your work has to be designed in such a way as to give space for the characters, that's staging, and to point or direct the viewer's eye to where those characters are, that's framing. Staging is literally the idea that your background is a stage. You want to give space for the characters to move around if they have to. So you need to always know where they are, where those characters are in any given scene. To do that, you'll either be drawing from a storyboard panel, so you'll know, or you'll be told by the director. Remember, background art is art that's already in production. It's not concept art. It's painting that is actually going to be used in conjunction with animation. So if you know that the characters walk on screen and stand in the middle, don't draw or paint elements right in the middle of the scene, no matter how much you think that it would really work and be really nice to have them there. Keep the space clear and open for characters. And then framing, again, framing means how you show the audience what it is you want them to see. The simplest way to do that, if you're painting an establishing shot or a wide shot, or like a wide angle of a scene, is to use objects around the edges of your frame that literally frame the central focal point or the point of interest, wherever that may be. Another way though, if you're creating a different kind of a shot, not necessarily an establishing shot, you can also use something called leading lines. And this is where items within the background are aligned so that they're pointing, in a way, pointing in a specific direction. They create lines that are almost imperceptible to the audience. They're not obvious, but they work powerfully to draw the eye towards, that area of the screen that you want to show.